Is this the prospect to watch for Boston this year? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin, and in today's video, we're breaking down a breakout candidate for the Red Sox and why people are saying he's the prospect to watch in the Red Sox system for 2025. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so the prospect we are talking about in today's video is obviously second-round draft pick Payton Toll. And the reason we're talking about him today is because over the last week or so, Bleacher Report put out their breakout star from each minor league system, and obviously, Payton Toll was the Red Sox pick. On top of that, Mass Live also put out 9 players that they think could have breakout seasons this year. Number 5, you guessed it, Payton Toll. Now, the reasons for this are pretty plentiful, if we're being honest. There's a lot of reasons to like Payton Toll coming into the 2025 season. One of the bigger ones is the fact that he really started to figure himself out in D1 baseball last year. Coming into the season, he had been sort of a mediocre statistical pitcher. However, by the end of the year, he really sort of separated himself from the pack, finishing his season in college baseball with a 3.21 ERA in 14 starts. A big reason for this, and another reason why he's being predicted to have a breakout year in 25 is the fact that with that lower ERA metric came a whole lot more swing and miss. His strikeouts per 9 jumped up to 13.8, which is incredibly impressive. It is actually 125 strikeouts in just 81 and a third innings, which is about a strikeout and a half for every inning of ball he is pitching. He was also really able to limit his overall contact as well, with his hits per 9 dropping to just 6.3. Coming into a Red Sox system that saw really big improvements on its pitching pipeline over the last year, it's not incredibly unrealistic to assume that coming off of a good statistical season last year, Payton Toll will be able to repeat something similar in the new Red Sox farm system. On top of that, outside of just statistical presence on the mound, Payton Toll has sort of a lot of qualities that teams look for in a really solid young pitcher. He is 6'6" on the mound, a left-hander who is an imposing presence. Craig Breslow, when talking about him, said this: he is every bit of 6'6". I think the profile of the modern pitcher has maybe changed a bit. Big, projectable body, and he has some unique release traits and some characters that we really like. We're excited to have him and look forward to seeing what he can do in a Red Sox uniform. Now, right now, Payton Toll isn't really blowing people away with his fastball. It sits normally in that 91-92 range, can get up to 96 miles an hour, but the reason it's so effective is because of 3 things. 1, his extension on the mound at an average of 7 feet 4 inches, which is more than a foot longer than the average extension in D1 baseball last year, makes it appear as though to batters that pitch is coming in a whole lot faster. 2, the movement that comes with this fastball makes it even harder to read. Last year, it had about 22 inches of vertical break, which again is about 4 inches more than the average D1 pitcher last season. And 3 is something that Breslow kind of quickly mentioned in that quote, or snuck into that quote a little bit, and that is his actual release point. With his fastball, the release point is almost a 3/4-ish slot. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you are watching a video of Payton Toll's release point and what I'm talking about. If you're listening on a podcast, it's essentially somewhere in between a 3/4 arm slot and a full arm slot. It's a very unique release point. In fact, his release point is at the 5'4" mark, which again, compared to the average D1 pitcher, is about 8 inches lower than normal. This also makes it difficult for hitters to pick up on where this pitch is going to end up. This is by far and away his bread and butter pitch. Add some velo to this bad boy, and all of a sudden, we're talking about an extremely deadly weapon. Now, I don't know whether or not this is something the Red Sox are going to focus on with Payton, or whether or not it's going to be more of a command type situation. They want him to be more methodical with where this pitch ends up in the zone. But if there's any indication as to which way the Red Sox are leaning, it's probably a combination of both. Craig Breslow, Justin Willard, and Kyle Bodie, who are sort of overseeing the Red Sox pitching pipeline right now, are focused on those 2 things, right? Throw hard and throw in the zone. And we've seen sort of a really solid uptick in velocity for a lot of players. Luis Perez, the Red Sox #1 pitching prospect last season before his Tommy John surgery, was up in velocity. Hunter Dobbins, who was sort of the breakout star for the Red Sox last season in the system, also saw an uptick in velocity. Quinn Priester, who came over at this year's trade deadline, saw an uptick in velocity. It's not insane to sit here and say that Payton Toll at 6'6" has some velocity to unlock there. If he can get this pitch up to averaging around 94, 95 miles an hour, this pitch all of a sudden is going to become an extremely deadly weapon, like I just said, right? This is going to be one of the better fastballs in minor league baseball. So right off the bat, just looking at his presence and his fastball ability alone, it's not difficult to see why there are people out there saying that Payton Toll is the Red Sox breakout candidate. In my opinion, though, this breakout's really going to hinge on one important thing, and that is Payton Toll's ability to work off the fastball with his off-speed pitches, because right now, that's sort of the big question with Payton. Is he going to be able to create a full pitch arsenal, or is he going to profile out as more of a reliever with one or two really good pitches? Right now, he's obviously got that fastball, which is by far and away his best pitch, but outside of that, by far and away his most used off-speed pitch is a slider. Now, most scouts don't totally love the slider. It's not something that they think is going to be an elite pitch at the major league level. In fact, most scouts, Sox prospects, MLB Pipeline, and others predict this pitch to be more of a basic offering, an average pitch to work off of his fastball, which isn't a bad thing, right? Having an average slider is still much better than having a below average slider. You combine that with an above average, a well above average, I should say, fastball potential as well, and he profiles out to be a really solid reliever. What really is going to make the difference this season is how he incorporates other off-speed pitches. He used a changeup and a curveball in college last year, very, very sparingly. It really wasn't a ton of off-speed pitches in terms of those two. If he could get those and figure those out, all of a sudden we've got a 4-pitch arsenal on our hands, and that's going to really be the separator between whether or not Payton can be a starter or a reliever. Now the question becomes, can he actually get there? And that's the big mystery in all of this. I have faith that a team like the Red Sox, who last season at the major league level saw a big improvement with their off-speed pitches overall, can really unlock something with Payton Toll and his off-speed pitches. It's something that they worked on with Richard Fitz. It's something they worked on again with Quinn Priester. It's something they worked on with Zach Penrod, and they all saw some immediate success in terms of the movement on their pitches. So it is possible that Payton comes in this year, figures out his fastball, and figures out his off-speed as well. And again, if that happens, yeah, he absolutely has all the potential in the world. So overall, taking a look at why Payton Toll was considered the breakout star for the Red Sox this year, it's because he's got a lot of the raw qualities you look for in an exciting young pitching prospect. He's big. He gets a ton of extension on the mound. His fastball is something to pay attention to. He's got a ton of room to grow, and the raw tools are there for him to be a successful pitcher. For the Red Sox, it's about taking those raw tools and refining it to a fully established, polished pitcher, and that's going to be the main goal for this team come 2025, but that doesn't mean he can't have a breakout year. What I think is really fun about this prediction on both sites is that it's a pitcher, right? When was the last time the Red Sox had a top 100 pitching prospect? It has been a very long time. Now, I will say, in all fairness to that, Luis Perez was very clearly on track to be a top 100 pitching prospect in Major League Baseball, a top 100 prospect in general before his Tommy John surgery, so they do have that potential already in the system, but it would be fun to start seeing some pitching names pop up on the top 100 prospect list for the Red Sox. It has been a very long time, and I do think Payton Toll is fully capable of getting this done. I do think there is a ton of potential here with his approach on the mound. It's just all going to come down to how those off-speed pitches develop in the minor league system, and I have a lot of faith that the Red Sox new pitching regime is going to be able to get him to a point where he is a legitimate breakout star candidate. Overall, I'm excited to see Payton Toll and what he could do in 2025, but I want your opinion in the comment section down below. What do you guys think? What do you think about the idea of Payton Toll being a breakout candidate? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Is there someone else in this Red Sox system that you think is going to have a better year, a bigger year in terms of breakout than Payton Toll himself? Let me know all your thoughts on this breakout idea in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps out a ton, and it's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you want to listen instead of watch this episode, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.